If you've been watching top-level football lately, you've probably noticed something. There's a quiet revolution happening on the pitch, but it's not coming from the usual suspects. The star strikers or the flashy wingers. Nope, it's starting from the back. The defender, the player who's traditionally been the team's shield, is now being turned into its secret weapon. It's not just about being the last line of defense anymore. They're becoming the first line of attack. And this line, man, it just says it all. The central defender, your classic number 4, is basically absorbing the role of the defensive midfielder, the number 6. It's like a kind of tactical cannibalism, right? And it is completely changing the geometry of the entire game. So when you see a player like Inter Milan's Alessandro Bastoni just striding past the halfway line, orchestrating play like he's a seasoned midfielder, don't just think, oh, he's just going rogue. This isn't a player going off script. It's the complete opposite. This is a move that's been drilled on the training ground, a systemic play that's fast becoming the new normal at the very top of the sport. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's really unpack what this new role for defenders actually means. Because this isn't just some small tweak to a formation. It's a massive paradigm shift in how people think about football. Which really brings us to the big question, right? When did this all change? When did defenders stop, just defending? What we're seeing isn't just a few brave players deciding to go on an adventure. It's a calculated, systematic change in tactics. So let's take a look at the blueprint. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual tactical blueprint. We're going to break down the mechanics of how this works. Because the key thing you have to understand is that this is all about the system, not some solo act of genius. It's protocol, not personality. And this chart here draws a really important distinction. Think back to the old-school Italian libero, right? Guys like the legendary Franco Baresi. When he charged forward, it was a flash of pure intuition, a moment of individual brilliance. The new hybrid defender? Totally different beast. Their forward runs are driven by protocol, a pre-planned, systematic trigger that's built right into the team's DNA. So how does it actually work in a game? Well, it all starts with a trigger. When the other team clogs up the middle and blocks the easy passes into midfield, that's the signal. The defender steps up and bam, you've suddenly got an extra man in midfield. They then become the third man in a passing move, which lets the team just play right around the opposition's press. The run itself is what creates the opening. And this isn't just some abstract theory coaches are trying out. It is a full-on data-driven strategy. They're constantly running this risk-reward calculation. And the data is pretty clear. When a defender pushes up, the team gets about 18% more control of that crucial central part of the pitch. Now, what's the trade-off? Well, you lose about 12% of your defensive control in that same area. It's a high-stakes gamble, for sure, but it's a bet the best coaches in the world are now more than willing to make. So, that's the theory. Now let's put some faces to the names. These are the players who are pioneering this role, the new vanguard that's totally redefining what it even means to be a defender. Let's start with the master of the craft, Inter's Alessandro Bastoni. This guy doesn't just pass from the back, he carries the ball deep into midfield to kickstart attacks himself. And get this stat, his ball progression numbers are better than 90% of the midfielders in Italy's top league. A defender outplaying midfielders at their own game. It's incredible. And you can actually put a hard number on that impact. There's a metric called expected possession value, or EPV. It's basically a fancy way of asking, how much does this action increase our chance of scoring? And when Bastoni makes one of his signature forward runs, his team's probability of scoring from that possession skyrockets by 50%. He's not just moving the ball, he's creating serious clear-cut danger. Next up, we've got Barcelona's teenage phenom, Pau Cubarsí. He is the visionary. His specialty is what they call the laser pass, a single, perfectly weighted ball straight from the back that can just slice through two lines of the opposition's defense in an instant. It's a pass that acts as both a shield and a sword. So what's his secret? Well, it's not just technical skill. It's literally his biology. Lab tests have shown that Cubarsí's peripheral vision is a staggering 15% better than the average pro player. That physical edge lets him process more visual information to see the whole pitch more clearly. It's why he looks so unbelievably calm when he steps out to press high. He literally sees the game differently than everyone else. And this revolution is spreading everywhere. You've got Riccardo Calafiori, who used to be a fullback and now constantly jumps into midfield from the center, creating total chaos for opponents. And then there's the teenager Lenny Yoro,
who everyone sees as the future prototype, a blank canvas with elite composure and this natural gift for carrying the ball through pressure.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, revolutionary even. But there's a massive, high-stakes question just hanging over all of it. What happens when it goes wrong? What about the risk? Exactly. I mean, if your central defender is 40 yards up the pitch and gives the ball away, isn't your team just left completely exposed? This is the central gamble of this entire strategy. Well, the answer comes down to one simple word: compensation. This is never a solo mission. It's a synchronized team rotation. The second the defender moves forward, another player, usually a midfielder or the fullback on the other side, has to seamlessly slide across and cover the space left behind. It's a built-in safety net, but it demands absolutely flawless communication and discipline from the whole team. And here's your margin for error: 8.3 seconds. That is the average window of vulnerability, the time it takes for that defender to sprint back into a defensive position. In that little window, the rest of the team has to cover. And it proves that the biggest risk here isn't a lack of speed, it's a lapse in concentration. One bad decision, one misplaced pass, and the entire defensive structure can just come crashing down.
So how do they manage that insane cognitive load? Well, the top defenders use this constant scanning method, a mental checklist called bots. Before they even think about moving, they scan the ball, the opponents, their teammates, and the available space. It's a nonstop process of collecting data, just waiting for that split second when the opponent is off balance to launch the attack.
So what does this all mean for the future of football? Well, it's pretty clear the hybrid defender isn't just some passing trend. It is the new reality. We are witnessing a fundamental redefinition of what a player in a specific position is expected and now able to do. And this quote just encapsulates it perfectly. The number on the shirt is becoming little more than a historical artifact. The elite modern defender wears the 4 of a central defender, operates in the space of a number 6 midfielder, and makes decisions with the creativity of a number 10 playmaker. And this change is so profound, it's even changing how we measure performance. For 100 years, we judge defenders by defensive stats: tackles, interceptions, clearances. The new key metric is on-ball value, or OBV, which measures how much a player's actions increase their team's chance of scoring. We are literally moving from judging defenders on the goals they prevent to valuing them for the goals they help create. Which leaves us with a final fascinating thought. We've seen the number 4 devour the number 6. As these positions continue to blur and blend together, what is a football team even going to look like in 2030? Will positions, as we've always known them, even exist anymore? It's something to think about.